Welcome to the Abundance Hack Show, where we are inspiring you to ditch the outdated beliefs, release the blocks, and fully embrace your sovereignty so you can confidently expand to allow more love, joy, and aligned success in your life. I am Niajae, your conscious accountability partner, reminding you that abundance is your birthright. Hey M&Ms, thank you for tuning in to the Abundance Hack Show. What are you manifesting in your life today? In today's episode, we are going to talk about honoring your needs. Last week, we had Danielle Laura on and we were talking about divine energy. And I think that if you are really trying to step into your divine masculine and your divine feminine, you have to be able to, one, connect with yourself, and two, understand what you need in order to operate at your best. And as you know, I have a meditation studio now, and I am helping people tap into their bliss. It's called Bliss Bar Meditation Studio. And I thought about it, like, what prevents people from feeling their best? And I believe that we are in a society that creates an environment to disconnect from yourself for several different reasons. One, we're always around a bunch of electronics. So we have our phones, we have our laptops, we have our tablets, we have Apple Watches, we have Alexas, we have all these things that are constantly pulling at our attention. We're inundated with information. So we're not listening to our internal voice as much. We're disconnected from our bodies and we're in this go, 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 go mode all the time. It's really difficult for a lot of people to sit still and not be on your phone. We are in a constant state of FOMO. If I don't check my phone every 5 minutes, I'm going to miss something. I'm going to miss a notification, an email, a text message. So I pay attention to people when they come into my studio and how difficult it is for people for an hour to stay off their phone. And I understand if you are a parent and you have small children and you have to check on your children, or even as like a mom of like a fur baby. Sometimes, if something happens, you want to be available. But for the most part, people are just addicted to their phone, addicted to social media, addicted to any and everything that is drawing their attention away from their body, their intuition, their inner voice. And a lot of people, and not everyone. So when I say a lot of people, I'm not saying everyone does this, but just generally speaking, a lot of people, when they are trying to make a decision, rather than going within, they seek external validation, whether it's from a friend, whether it's from social media, or even just Google. You Google everything. What do I want for dinner tonight? Google, give me the top 10 recipes for dinner. Like, we are not trusting ourselves anymore. And the less that we connect with ourselves and our inner voice, it's kind of like that saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. And we don't want to lose our connection to ourselves. So that is why it is so important to honor your needs. So when I started thinking about this and how important it is, obviously the universe always says, yes, you're on the right track. And a video came up from Teal Swan. So if you don't know who Teal Swan is, she's very similar to Abraham Hicks. And if you've been listening to me, you know I love me some Abraham. So Teal Swan is similar. So she's someone else where you can YouTube her and whatever issue you're dealing with, and it'll be a video that pops up about her. So this specific video, she was talking about a zebra and a water hole. Water hole. So I guess like, if I'm such a city girl, but I guess if you're like in like a safari, there's a water hole where the zebras go and drink water. New Yorker here. I was born in New York, so anything like naturey. But anyway, zebra and a water hole. So she says that when a zebra comes upon a water hole that has dried up and there's no more water, the zebra moves on and they find another water hole. They don't sit around and fret over it. However, humans, when we come upon something that we need that's dried up, we'll just use the water hole drying up as an example. Rather than us moving on and finding what we need, first we'll try to create it ourselves or become it. And then if that doesn't work, we convince ourselves that we don't need it. And that's where I think a lot of society is right now. A lot of people are starving inside, not just like hungry, but like emotional starvation. And they're lacking connection. And rather than us saying, okay, let's go find this connection, let's find what's fulfilling, we try to convince ourselves we don't need connection. We don't need love. We don't need nurturing. Okay. So if you're listening on Spotify, iHeartRadio, you can't see my face, but my face is in disbelief. We need connection, period. End of story. We need connection. And so I had to think about this. Like, why do we starve ourselves of what we need? We need love. We need nurturing. We need affection. We need words of affirmation. We need all the things. I just realized that, oh, this is so good, you guys. Reading the five love languages, I was like, oh, this is my primary love language, and this is my secondary love language. I just realized I need all five. I don't want just one or two. I need all five. Period. End of story. And if someone says, like, oh, well, this is how you receive love, I feel like it's limiting. It's limiting. We should not limit how we receive or perceive love. We need to expand to allow all of the love languages to be spoken to us. Okay. Woo. Okay, let me not get off topic. So I'm like, why do we deprive ourselves of what we need? We need love, we need affection, we need acknowledgement, and we need gratitude, and we need nurturing. We need all of these things. Why do we deprive ourselves of the things that we need? I have 4 reasons that I came up with. Number one is shame. You will not believe how many people have shame around their needs. Now, this speaks to one of the other ones a little bit, but we're kind of programmed to have shame around our needs. As women, we're told that we're needy. You need too much. You want too much. I was told that my whole entire life that I want too much. Excuse me, we are abundant beings. And so what this created inside of me now, do I have your permission to get a little deep here? I'm going to take it a little deeper because I don't want a surface podcast. Like we're going to get a little deep. So I was programmed as a child to have shame around my needs. I was raised by a single mom. She did the best that she could. But anytime I asked her for something, mind you, she's a single mom and young at that. My mom had me at a really young age. I'd ask her for something and it would seem like a burden. Not saying she knew this, but it would seem like a burden. So that sent the subconscious message to me that me needing something is a burden. I am a burden, right? Then I had a dad that wasn't around, not my stepdad, not my sister's father. He's the most of a dad that I've ever had in my life. But my biological dad would come around and be like, I love you. I love you. And then he's like, if you need anything, let me know. And then I'd ask for something and he'd disappear. And this happened all throughout my life. Even as an adult, he came around like, oh, I love you. I love you. If you need anything. And I asked for something, disappear. Right. So then this sent me the subconscious message that if I ask a man for something, they're going to disappear. Right now, mind you, I've done a ton of inner work, a ton of shadow work, a ton of therapy, a ton of coaching. So I'm okay now. And that's why I can talk about this now because I am stepping into my divine feminine, and I do understand how to allow, and I know that the divine masculine wants to provide for their woman. So I'm not saying this as if I'm still in this place, but this sent me the message that if I ask a man for something, he's going to disappear. And with my therapist, we uncovered a even deeper subconscious belief that I felt undesirable if I needed something. So that is shame around my needs. That is shame around my needs. Hello, we are human. We all need things. And if you feel if you feel shame around the fact that you need something, no matter what it is, whether you're a male or female. So, I mean, I can only speak for myself because I'm a female, but I know that men experience this too. Men are not taught that it's okay for them to have needs. It's like usually when men are little boys, they're taught suck it up and be a man, and so that sends them the subconscious message that it's not okay for you to have needs. You can't have needs because you have to be a man. What does that even mean? But it's subconscious, and then we have shame around our needs, and then society with like men and sex, and like it's not okay to want it, and just there's so many layers, so many layers. But shame is, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons as to why we suppress our needs and try to convince ourselves that we don't need them. And me being raised by a single mom, I was taught to never depend on a man. I was taught to be independent. And when I said, you know what, honestly, I don't mind if a man takes care of me. Do you understand how M&Ms, I'm going to be really honest with you. Do you understand how difficult that was for me to admit to myself? I am okay with my husband taking care of me. I don't want to have to work. I know that there are some women that are out here having a fit hearing me say that. But I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't want to have to work. I love business. I love business. If you know me, you know I love business. And I'm going to run my business and I'm going to build my empire because I want to, because I love business, but I don't want to have to work. I don't want to have to work. I want my husband to be like, "Honey, just do what you love. Do what you love." And you know what? That gives me a freedom to be like, actually, I'm going to take a month off and write a book. Actually, I'm going to relax for 2 weeks and take a freaking vacation. Hello. You know, what is wrong with that? We are taught to have so much shame around our needs, especially these days with women. We're supposed to be strong and independent, but we're losing our connection. We're losing our connection. We're losing our desire for a sacred and divine union. Like, we're disconnecting from who we are at our core. Women trying to be fully independent. I don't need a man. I don't need a man. The thing is, we are capable of being self sufficient, but we're not created to be completely self sufficient. We are created for connection. We are love. We are pure divine love. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a limit. So I'm not saying be a gold digger. I'm not saying put your feet up and never work. Like, I'm not saying that. Not saying that. But if you are someone who's like, I want to have children and I want to be a stay at home mom, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And do not let society tell you that it is. Okay? Whatever your needs are, do not let society cause you to have shame around it. And let me just tell you, shame is stored in our bodies and it turns into physical ailments. And those physical ailments turn into illness. Do not store shame in your body. And I know that this is going to take a lot of undoing because there's a lot. There's a lot of layers to it, and it starts at a young age. But that is why the inner work is so important. That is why the inner child work is so important. That is why the shadow work is so important. And that's why I love the work that I'm doing here with the sound healing and at my meditation studios. So, the second reason why people suppress their needs is guilt. So, shame and guilt, you know, different ends of the coin. With guilt, I find that it's mostly guilt around having something or wanting or needing something when others don't have it, especially the world we live in now and experiencing a pandemic. There's a lot of people struggling. There's a lot of people struggling. So, who am I to want $1 million house where some people can't even pay their mortgage? That's guilt. Who am I to, and then there's the fear of outshining. So outshining friends, business associates, family, even your partner. So like who am I to have $1 million house when my family is, living in the hood? My family's obviously not living in the hood, but I'm just giving you an example. So we have this fear of outshining, or we have guilt. Like if you are someone who makes money really easily, or you're someone who makes a lot of money, then you have guilt around it because there's people that are struggling to make money. So we pretend that we don't need or want the thing because other people don't have it. And if we have it, then we have guilt around it. And guilt is a low vibration. And low vibrations bring your whole, like it brings your vibration down, so you're no longer a magnet to the thing that you desire. You're no longer in the vortex, so to speak, to have the thing that you desire. So suppressing the fact that you want or need something is literally creating an undesirable situation for you. If you were looking for a sign, here it is. This is your reminder to not settle, to know your worth, and to follow your bliss. This is a reminder to maintain alignment and show up in your fullest expression. Abundant and Aligned Society is an accountability program to remind you that you are a powerful being and you deserve to live the life you truly desire. Go to niajae.com/society to join in on the magic, because life is meant to be abundant. And the third reason why people suppress their needs is self-worth. They don't feel worthy of having the things that they want or need. They don't feel like they deserve it. And self-worth runs really, really deep, especially when it comes to getting your needs met. So if you were raised in a household where your basic needs weren't met, then that creates a subconscious belief that you are not worthy of them being met. And that will trickle over into your adult life. So, feeling worthy of, I use $1 million house because that's my favorite go to example. But do I feel worthy of living in $1 million house? And we're also taught to hustle and grind, and becoming successful and making money requires hard work. And then if we don't work hard, sometimes we feel as if we didn't work hard enough to have the thing. We didn't pay enough dues. But that is self-worth, because we are abundant beings. You deserve what you desire just being here in this time, space, and reality. You don't have to work hard for it. Now, granted, we do have to work hard in a sense of we have to take action. And sometimes we take action and things don't pan out exactly how we expect them to. But there's a lesson in that. We're meant to learn a lesson. We're not here to hustle and grind and work our faces off. We're here to experience things and grow and learn and evolve. And sometimes that shows up as hard work. But you don't have to work hard to be deserving of the things that you want and desire, because the universe whatever higher being you believe in already wants to give it to you. It's already yours. It's already in your vortex. And if you don't know what I mean by it's already in your vortex, definitely check out the podcast episode, What is the Vortex? But if you have the need, if you have the desire, it's already in your vortex and you are already worthy of it. Period. End of story. And the fourth reason why people suppress their needs is societal pressures or pre programming. So, this speaks to what I was saying in the beginning. Societal pressures like women should be independent and women should take care of themselves, and we don't need men because we're equal. Now, the previous episode, Divine Energy, we talked about stepping into your divine masculine and your divine feminine. And we have, so every individual has masculine and feminine, no matter what gender is. But when I say step into your divine feminine, this is the divine version of yourself. This is the highest version of yourself. This is you stepping into your power and sovereignty, and then being in a relationship, a conscious relationship or a divine union with a man that is also in his power, also stepping into his sovereignty. So it's not a situation where I'm independent and I don't need a man. So now I am exuding this negative energy towards men or relationships, because that's only going to repel the divine masculine. So being able to stand in my power without diminishing a man's value. And then same thing with a man stepping into his power, but not feeling like he needs a submissive woman in order to keep his power shining. You know, he can be with another divine being that's in their power and sovereignty without it diminishing his power. So societal pressures will have you believing that you have to be a certain way. You have to be a certain way. You have to want a certain thing. You have to act a certain way in order to get what you want or need. But it's all distorted. It is all distorted. And sometimes I sit back and I'm like, does no one else does no one else see this but me? It's all distorted. We're taught like, oh, be independent, but what we really want is a relationship. You if you do a poll of really strong powerful women and they're like, "Oh, I can go out here and start a business and do all the things." And if you really ask them what they truly want, they want companionship. They want a relationship. They want nurturing. And it's like we were taught be this way because this way is not okay to get this thing. But in order to actually get this thing, we really need to be and honor who we truly are instead of trying to be this way to get this thing when being this way is only going to repel this thing. Did I lose you? Did I lose you? But if you just think about the vicious cycles that are happening right now, where instead of going to the water hole and realizing the water is dried up, so just go to another water hole, we convince ourselves that we don't need water and we need water. And that is what's happening in society. You know, give you an example. You are looking for love and you end up in these situations where you're not receiving love. So you start to convince yourself that I don't need love. I don't need to be in a relationship, rather than continuing to find a situation that feels loving. Or let's take healers, for example, that aren't making the money to have the type of lifestyle that they desire. So they want to be a healer because that's fulfilling and it's purpose driven. And maybe they don't make the money they desire to have the type of lifestyle. And I say luxurious because I want a luxurious lifestyle, even though I'm a healer. I still want a luxurious lifestyle. So most healers, rather than them going out and figuring out how to get that luxurious lifestyle, they convince themselves that they don't need a luxurious lifestyle or they don't need a comfortable lifestyle. And then they start becoming minimalists rather than going out and finding a way to have the things that they want. They convince themselves that they don't need it. They convince themselves that they don't need what they want or desire. Or like, are you guys following me? Are you following me? So these are the vicious cycles that are happening in our lives. These are the toxic patterns that we have going on that I am on a freaking mission to end the vicious cycles, end the toxic thought patterns, so we can step into our power, so we can step into our sovereignty. And the crazy thing is, a lot of people are not even aware of these cycles. They're not even aware. So, one of the things that I am really passionate about doing with my meditation studio is helping get people back into their bodies, connect back to yourself, connect back to your intuition and inner wisdom and inner voice and inner knowing. Feel into your body. And I will tell you, everything that I've said, I have been there. So I've been the super independent woman who was completely detached from the fact that I really wanted love. I've been super in my head to where I don't feel into decisions anymore. It's all in my head, it's all logic and no feeling. So, what I want to do is help people get back into their body, get back into their feeling and their intuition and their inner knowing, so they can live a fulfilling life. If you're just in your head and you're making decisions from your head and you're not feeling into your heart, you're going to get where you are going and be like, damn, this feels shallow. This feels superficial. Why am I not happy? Why am I not fulfilled? Because you're all in your head and you're not in your heart. You're not in your body. You're not feeling it. And I had to learn all of this the hard way. So, me sharing this is hopefully helping you have a little bit of a shortcut. Because I'll tell you, like, it took me, I've been, if you've been listening to this podcast from the beginning, which it's been over 2 years now, you hear my journey. I'm very transparent about my journey, but I was doing all of this inner work way before I started my podcast. So, I think the key is to not look at the end result. Like, okay, like I'm going to do this for 2 years and then poof, I'm enlightened or I'm evolved and I've arrived. It's not about that. So I don't want you to think like, okay, it took her, you know, 2 years or 3 years or 5 years to get where she is. So let me do some inner work for the next 5 years. It's a journey, not a destination. And rather than just trusting the process, I would invite you to enjoy the process. And I've gotten to a point in my life where when something happens, I'm like, ooh, what am I meant to learn here? What kind of juicy lesson is this? And I get excited because I know that this is helping me grow, and that growth, although can be very uncomfortable, is exciting to me because I have made the choice to enjoy the process, enjoy it. So I'm just like, ooh, okay, this door closed, this opportunity is over. So that means something amazing is on the other side. And I get excited. And this is how you, Abraham says, the more you enjoy this segment, the better the next segment is going to be. So I invite you to, one, honor your needs. Take a moment and check in. What do I need? Oh, really quick, I do have a guided meditation that is on Abundant and Aligned Society that helps you check into what you need. So if you've been on the fence about joining Abundant and Aligned Society, now is a really great time because I have so much juiciness. Like, now that I have my space, I can really take my recording and content to another level. So it's already done and in the members area. So if you, like I said, are on the fence, now's the time. Now is the time. So this guided meditation will guide you through. It's actually a journaling exercise that I play the sound bowls while I'm doing a little bit of a meditation, so you can journal while I'm playing the sound bowls, and it's really powerful because it helps you access your subconscious, and that's where all of the limiting beliefs are. That's where the pre-programming is, because the sound bowls are taking you into that theta state. And once you are in that theta state, you have access to your subconscious blocks. So, really, really powerful exercise. So, right now, you can just simply place your hand on your chest, on your heart chakra. Take a really deep breath and check in. What do I need? What do I need? And honor whatever comes up. No judgment, no guilt, no shame. And ask yourself, what do you need mentally, physically, and emotionally? And honor whatever comes up. Full acceptance, full love. Don't judge it. Don't suppress it. Don't dismiss it. Whatever comes up, the first thing that pops into your mind, learn to trust it. Learn to get back in touch with your inner voice. And the more that you listen to it, the stronger or louder it's going to be. And it will guide you to your highest self, the best version of you, your sovereignty, listening to your intuition and your inner voice. Now, I will say there will be a point where you're going to need some clarity to decipher through, like, is this a fear or is this my intuition? Because sometimes our intuition is protecting us from situations, but sometimes it's fear because we don't feel worthy of situations. So that is part of the process of learning to decipher between your fear or programming and your intuition. But for now, just hand on your heart chakra, deep breath, really deep breath. So making sure you're filling up as much of your body with air as possible. So typically we are shallow breathers and our organs aren't getting enough oxygen. So that's one of the fastest ways to start to connect back to your body, is breathing into the different areas of your body. So if you are experiencing knee pain, let's just say, now we store grief in our knees, and you're experiencing some knee pain because emotionally you're probably suppressing some grief that you should deal with. Try to breathe into your knee. Imagine sending your breath to your knee. So this is going to help you start to connect back to your body. And rather than ignoring, because sometimes like our knee hurts and we'll just be like, it's fine, suck it up. And we keep going. My knee can't hurt today because I have something to get done. My knee can't hurt today because I have to work. So we ignore what we're feeling. And then our body stops communicating to us because we're not listening. And then next thing you know, there's some type of illness, and you're like, oh no, how did this happen? So if we get used to listening to our body and listening to our intuition and listening to what we need, it will communicate to us, and we can give ourselves what we need to feel our best, to be our best, and to fully step into our full potential in sovereignty. All right, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I lost you. Let me know if this resonated deeply, because like if you really let it set in, I talked about some pretty deep stuff. So let me know how this landed for you. And if anything did come up, reach out to me. I'm always here. I'm always on Instagram. If you're local, come by the studio. And if you're not local, I have opened up my schedule again for one-on-one coaching. It's all chakra based and really tapping into that programming according to our chakras. So if your needs weren't being met, then you may have a consistent imbalance in your root chakra because root chakra deals with our basic needs. So definitely reach out to me. Definitely reach out to me. I have some yummy stuff going on. We have people really healing and stepping into their power, stepping into their purpose, stepping into abundance. We are abundant beings. It's already in our vortex. We just have to allow it, and clearing out this crap, clearing out the guilt, clearing out the shame, clearing out the self-worth issues will allow the abundance to literally pour in. So if you are ready for abundance to literally pour in, let me know. Reach out. Let's do this. So I have Abundant and Aligned Society. That's the easiest way to receive accountability from me. So you receive text messages 3 times a week. You receive guided meditations, journal exercises, sound therapy recordings. And if you want a little more personal care and you want to speak to me one-on-one, I just opened my schedule back up for one-on-one coaching. So reach out to me. You can DM me, slide in my DM. You can DM me on Instagram at Niajae, or you can email me directly at contact@niajae.com. Contact@niajae.com. All right. I hope you found value in this. And until next time, be decadent. Thank you for tuning in to the Abundance Hack Show. I would love to hear from you. Leave your comments and questions, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our yummy episodes. Every time you leave a 5-star rating or review, I do my happy dance.